Hi everyone, my name is Alex Williams, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a virtual machine using VirtualBox. The virtual machine that we'll be creating is a Linux Ubuntu operating system. So the first step that we're going to need to do is just open up Oracle VM VirtualBox, and we're going to want to hit New. And this is assuming that we already have all the ISO files that we do need to create our VM. So we're just going to first off, create our virtual machine. Just call it Ubuntu VM. That's all we're going to just call it, Ubuntu VM. And we know that it's going to be a Linux system, and this is where it's going to be stored in users, my user, and VirtualBox VMs, and it's going to be version Ubuntu 64-bit. That is correct. So we're going to just hit next. We're going to allocate how much memory we're going to need. We're just going to run with about 8 gigabytes. I think that's more than enough. Hit next, and we're going to create a virtual hard disk, a virtual disk image, and we're going to go for a fixed size. So the difference between a dynamically allocated and a fixed size of the disk is dynamically allocated means that as your VM starts to take up more memory, your disk will keep on getting bigger, which will hence take more space away from your physical hard drive. Where a fixed size will just take a specific amount from your physical hard drive, allocate just for that machine, it will not get any bigger. So we're just going to start off with a fixed size and hit next. And we're going to just allocate 10 gigabytes, which is just the default size. And this is where our hard drive is going to be stored. And users else will VirtualBox VMs, Ubuntu VM, Ubuntu VM.vdi. So we're just going to hit create. And now it's configuring our Ubuntu settings. And now our virtual machine is now created, but the first step before we do anything else is we go to settings on our machine. And we want to go to advanced really quick, and we want to just hit all of our clipboard and drag and drops to biodirectional. You can keep it as default, but I prefer it to be on biodirectional because you're able to copy and paste data from your main machine to the virtual machine and vice versa. So it makes it easier to move information around. So we're going to keep it in biodirectional. We're going to go to system, make sure that our RAM is allocated the way that we want it to be by 8 gigabytes. And we want the boot order to start off with the optical and then hard disk. So we want to have our boot order set to optical hard disk and then probably floppy next. And we're going to go to display and make sure our video memory is at maxed out. Depending on how big your monitor is or what the resolution of your monitor, you probably want to make the video memory the maximum that it can go so you can have a full screen Ubuntu system virtual machine. So now the next step is we're going to go to storage, and we need to mount our ISO file to our boot. So we're going to want to use our Ubuntu ISO file, which we have right here. Currently it's a 2022.04.1 version, and we're just going to go ahead and hit OK. And then we can hit start. Now the virtual machine will boot off of that ISO file and get everything up and running for us. So now it wants us to try to install Ubuntu. So we're going to give that a try by pressing enter. Alright, and once we get to this screen, we want to hit English for our language, and then we're going to hit install Ubuntu. Hit English again for all of our other settings for our keyboard layout, and then hit continue. We're going to do a try to install third-party software graphics Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats. We're going to do a normal installation, and we're going to download updates while installing Ubuntu. Now once we hit this screen, it's going to tell us that we're going to erase the entire hard disk when we're installing Ubuntu. We're only going to erase all the memory that is on the virtual hard disk that we created, so do not be worried about erasing any of your memory on your current hard disk that your virtual machine is within, like your physical hard drive. So we're just going to go ahead and hit install now since there's absolutely no memory on that hard drive. So install. This will also show us what partitions of a hard drive that we're going to be creating, and then hit continue. I was going to select our area that we live in, and then hit continue again. We're going to provide our name. So I'm just going to say Alex, and then we're going to hit our computer's name. Let's just call it Ubuntu VM. And my username will also be Alex, and we're going to create a password. And we're going to require password at login. So after that, we're just going to hit continue. And while this loads, it's going to be installing the rest of the operating system, and I'll meet with you back once it's completed. Alright, so once we're on this screen, it's going to ask us to restart our system. So we're just going to hit restart now. Now it's going to ask us to remove our installation medium. VirtualBox has already done this for us, so all it's got to do is press enter. Installed and everything. We just click on our username and then type in our password. Hit enter. And now we have Linux Ubuntu installed. Just hit next on everything, hit done. And now we have a couple more steps that we're going to have to do with making it run well with VirtualBox. Because right now, if we try to run full screen, it will not capture the entire screen that we want to capture. So what we're going to do now is go in the bottom left corner here and show applications, and then type in terminal. Once we show this, we're just going to want to type in sudo apt update, and then it's going to require us to type in a password. Alright, so once our system is seeing how many updates, how many packages can be upgraded, so we have about 150 packages that can be upgraded. So we're going to need to just type in sudo apt install -y build essential Linux headers $$ open parenthesis uname space -r close parenthesis. Now after we type in this, we're just going to press enter, and it's going to install all the necessary packages that we're going to need for Linux to operate appropriately. Alright, so once our system has been updated this way, we're going to press X, and we're going to now want to go to devices and insert the guest edition CD image. Once we insert that, we're going to want to go to our CD here, and then right click, and then open in terminal. And we're going to want to click on open in terminal. And now we're going to want to type in autorun.sh. Once that command is typed in, we're just going to want to type in our password. Hit enter on that. And it's going to install all the necessary modules that we're going to need to have our Ubuntu system run in full screen on VirtualBox. Alright, now our guest edition kernel modules is all set up. So now it's telling us that our system needs to be restarted, and all you gotta do is just press return to close the window, exit out of our terminal, exit out of our file system, and then go over to our power button here and go to power and log out, and just hit restart. Alright, now that we have restarted, we want to click on our username and just type in our password. And now full screen should work appropriately for our system, so we're just going to hit view and hit full screen mode and hit switch. And voila, we are all set up. Our system is now set up to run appropriately on VirtualBox. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye.